There's this idea that movies are supposed to mean something, that if you sit through enough long shots, stare at enough black and white misery, eventually you come out of the other side changed, smarter, enlightened, like you've just unlocked a new tier of ascension or something. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I watched the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and that shit was fun. I felt like a kid watching mindless yum slop in my veins, seeing Chris Pratt, who couldn't be bothered doing his Boston accent half the movie. It's in my veins! What? Martin Scorsese said that some movies like these are like theme parks and not cinema? What do you know, absolute cinema guy, huh? I like watching fun movies and you can't do anything about it. I don't need to have a deeper understanding of society or a sudden urge to read philosophy. I'm here for a good time, baby. I was also watching the movie with my friend who's at his pretentious face like I was at my life. I think everyone goes through that, and I thought he would agree with my take that the Mario movie was super cool, but he gave it a 3 stars, and that's why I'm making this video. Because somewhere along the way, especially if you're into movies, it stopped being about watching them and starts being about explaining them. You can't just enjoy something, you must break it down, talk about themes, talk about pacing, say shit like it lacked nuance or it didn't challenge me. Like, you're being graded on it, and if you don't do that, it feels like you didn't watch it properly, like you failed the movie. But if I'm being honest, sometimes in life I like to watch slop, because when you're deep in like your film phase, you forget what makes you happy in life back then, and that is slop. Think about it. Growing up, you watched everything, and I'm sure you have a guilty pleasure here and there. Like back then, my favorite movies were Robots and Igor because I thought it was cool. Watching it now, is it bad? Obviously, but I liked it as a kid, and that's the best part. I don't know about kids these days though, where they'll probably reminisce about Coco Melon. Therefore, I'll be waiting in like 10 years to see someone like me who'll do a video about how Coco Melon changed the industry for movies and how Skibidi Toilet Movie is the best movie of all time. Anyways, I also like to watch horror slop, Carrot being one of them. I remember watching the movie with one of my friends, and we kept making the CEO of sex joke every time. I couldn't care less if the movie is shit, but if it makes me poop my pants in the cinema and makes me jump scare or scream, I love it. All these movies are easy. They don't ask anything from me. They're not trying to reshape my understanding of existence. They're just there. Same with stuff like Bullet Train and Avengers. I don't really think you can have a great soy boy cinema experience if you watch like a 3-hour Kafkaesque film. And then there's the other side, the movies you're supposed to love, the ones people talk about like they're sacred texts, the kind of films where the conversation around them just feels intense. Like if I'm talking about films such as Taste of Cherry or Drive My Car, there's this immediate shift in tone where everything just becomes quiet, serious, and respectful. Like you're not watching a movie and you're participating in something important. Well, I'm not saying those films are bad. In fact, those films are my favorites of all time, but let's be real for a second. Normal people don't talk about movies like that. You don't really sit down with your friends or coworkers and go, yo bro, last night I watched Taste of Cherry and it really made me reflect on existential isolation and fragility of the life. That's not a real conversation. People are going to tell you, hey bro, what movie is that, huh? Have you watched the new rock movie, Moana? I like Moana and the rock, he's so cool. Those stuff are something you usually say online, something you type out in a review after thinking about how it sounds. I'm not saying there's no people that takes film seriously like that. I'm sure if you go to a film club in your college campus or even find some people who love films as much as you'll find your circle, and in that circle you'll appreciate it more. But where I'm from, We cinephile lollipops are a rare breed. In real life, people say stuff like, yeah, it was kind of slow, or I liked it, or it was boring. That's it. That's the whole discussion. I remember recommending my sister to watch Past Lives, one of my favorite films of all time, where I cried a lot. And I'm not saying she didn't understand it, but she does not trust me recommending movies anymore. But online, especially in the film spaces, everything really becomes a performance. Liking certain movies means something. It signals that you're serious, that you understand cinema, that you're not just some casual viewer watching whatever pops up on Netflix. And I think that's where things start to get weird. Because then you start watching movies not just to enjoy them, but to build that identity. You watch something because you feel like you should. You watch Solo or the 120 Days of Sodom when you're 18 and regret it. I fucking hate that movie. I swear to fucking God, that movie is the fucking, it's shit. You finish it because you don't want to be the person who couldn't handle it. It becomes a LARPing and FOMO competition where you rate things higher than you feel because, well, everyone else did. Look at Carson Ronquist. He gave this movie a 10, so that means I must give it a 10 also. And I've done that. I've sat through movies thinking, okay, this is where everything is going to connect. I've convinced myself that I like something more than I did. And at that point, I realized I lost my old self, my kid self who loved to watch slop, and I became the worst thing imaginable. A pretentious fuck who hates normal people movies because they have fun and I didn't have fun. Watching Shantago felt like that. I've talked about this film before in a previous video, but it felt like I was being forced to appreciate something. Like if I sat there long enough and if I endured it properly, something would click inside of me, but nah. It just felt long and boring. I don't think that makes me wrong. I think it just means that I didn't enjoy it. And somehow that feels illegal to say because some Redditors who love that movie would comment, "You didn't fully understand it," while scratching their ballsack or whatever. I'm sorry, but I couldn't fucking care less, dude. Sure, there are some films that are good that didn't hit me like they would, such as The Dark Knight. That movie was good, but for everything that is holy, I couldn't focus during that movie because I was laughing my ass off thinking about the stupid Sigma shit about the Joker and Christian Bale that honestly ruined the film for me. Liking certain movies these days feels like a personality now, like you're proving something. You go on Letterboxd, you see these reviews talking about how life-changing something is, and maybe that's real for them, and I'm glad a piece of media can change someone's life. But a lot of the time it feels like a performance, like you're supposed to say it, like you're supposed to feel it. Nobody in real life walks into a room and says, "Yeah man, I just watched 3 hours of minimal dialogue and it changed my entire worldview." That's not a normal sentence. That's something you say online so people know you're serious about movies, because enjoyment isn't something you can argue your way into. You can understand a movie and respect it, admire it all you want, but if you don't feel anything, there is no equation that turns your appreciation towards the film into enjoyment. And I think that's where everything gets messed up. We start treating movies like they have some correct answer or whatever, but there isn't. There's just what stays with you and what doesn't. Some films challenge you, some movies bore you to the point of killing yourself, some movies stick with you forever, and none of that is more valid than the other. I think the goal is to stop LARPing, because at the end of the day, the only thing that actually matters is whether you felt something while you were watching it. You're not a film critic, so just watch whatever you want, unless it's free, guy.